Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing my first sort of what I call the talks videos, which is basically where I just have a topic that I'm talking about. If you watched any of my older videos, it's pretty much the same thing as my discuss series, but just with a different name. So today we're going to be talking about something that I actually saw something on Facebook about like an hour ago. And it's something that I've been wanting to make a video on for quite a while, but I've just been kind of putting it off. So I figured now is as good a time as any, because I saw that and I was like, hey, that's a thing I should talk about. So I'm pretty much today going to be talking about what I call like Disney haters and expanded universe fanatics. I'm not trying to make it sound like I hate any of these people and think they're all super horribly terrible people or anything at all like that, but I just personally don't understand why they're doing the things that they're doing, and today I'm pretty much going to be just going over sort of what I feel like they're trying to do and why I feel like they're failing, and sort of my thoughts on the entire situation as a whole, really. So first I'm just going to tell you what I sort of define these people as. So they're pretty much people who do whatever they can, really, to tell you what they think of the new sort of Star Wars canon, like the post-Disney stuff, so like The Force Awakens, Rogue One, Rebels, all of that. And sort of seem to like shove their opinion down your throat and be like, no, this is terrible, you shouldn't like this, you're not a true Star Wars fan if you like this. And I don't get that. I really don't. It's not going to change anything. People are still going to like what they like. And I know you like the EU and don't like the new stuff, but it's still, you're not going to change Disney's plan or anything, I don't think. I mean, yeah, they're taking inspiration from the EU. They're trying to listen to the fans. Like, they brought Thrawn back, for example. That was the thing I was like, good job, Disney. You brought back a fan favorite. That's a good job. Other than that, I don't really see the point. And then, like I said, they're trying to bring back the EU, which I love the EU. I really do. My profile name is Revan1207. That's because my two favorite Star Wars characters are Revan from the Old Republic, and not necessarily my second favorite, but one of my other favorites is Sev from Star Wars Republic Commando. And his sort of clone number designation thing is 1207. So I combine those, and you have my name. I love the expanded universe. I love a lot of things about it. But I think trying to force Disney and Lucasfilm to bring back the old canon is really just kind of a dumb thing to do. Not to mention that there is a whole lot of stuff in the EU. As great as some of it is, there's a lot of really bad stuff in there. For example, Mount Sorrow. It's kind of stupid. If you don't know what it is, you can look it up. I found out about it personally from a video by Hello Greedo talking about the worst things in the expanded universe. By the way, he's a cool channel. Go check him out if you haven't heard of him. Pretty much everything he mentioned in that video I agree with, but I just think that's one dumb thing. Another thing that I personally don't like is how Boba Fett survived the Sarlacc pit. And while I understand that people enjoy Boba Fett's character and everything, I just think bringing him back for the sake of fan service is kind of stupid. And I'm not saying that there's no fan service in the new movies, because there definitely is. Something like that I just think is kind of dumb and was not really a great move. And then there's also how there's like literally an explanation for everything in the expanded universe. Like, things that don't even need an explanation have an explanation, because why not? I also have a couple of sort of examples that I would like to talk about of not really just people, but kind of groups of people, if you will, of people that are like this, and that I just think honestly give Star Wars fans and EU fans a bad reputation and kind of make themselves look like idiots. So the first, really, it's a YouTube channel that I'm going to be talking about, is one by the name of Jar Jar Abrams, which you may or may not have heard of. Some of his videos have a lot of views. Mark Hamill talks about his disappointment. Million+ views. Many of his other videos have 200,000+ views. Some of them have only a couple of thousand. but quite a few of his videos have gotten a lot of views and a lot of attention. I don't see the point of this channel for many reasons. Again, it's like shoving down your opinion down other people's throats and everything. And secondly, whoever it is that's doing this YouTube channel takes a lot of things out of context. Probably the biggest example of this that I can think of is how not only this YouTube channel, but a lot of Star Wars fans as a whole were sort of really getting upset and being all like, oh, The Last Jedi is going to be terrible because Mark Hamill, who plays Luke Skywalker, if you don't know, said that he fundamentally disagreed with everything about his character in The Last Jedi, which did worry me at first, and it worried a lot of other people, and I can understand why that's worrying. This YouTube channel, of course, did a video about that. Well, not really about it, but just taking clips from that interview with Mark Hamill where he says that, and honestly, it just takes it out of context. So the video basically had Mark Hamill in the interview talking about how he fundamentally disagreed with everything about his character in The Last Jedi and all of that. But it left out what he said afterwards, where he was saying about he disagreed with it initially, but then he ended up thinking it was really interesting, and it was just not what he envisioned for the character. And he thought it was a pretty unique take on the character, which is what he clarified afterwards on like Twitter and stuff. He said a lot of people are getting worried about this, and I just want to clarify that what I meant by that is that it's not something I was expecting, and I actually think that Rian Johnson is actually doing an interesting job with the character, and I think that it will be very surprising to everybody, and probably not everyone will like it, but it's something different and something fresh and exciting, and something that could really be an interesting take on the character. Another, actually a Facebook page, and there's many like it, but this one in particular that I heard about earlier today that I wanted to talk about is called Let's Spoil The Last Jedi for Fake Disney Wars Fanboys. So in the post that this Facebook page put up, sort of at the very beginning of their timeline, says about how Disney has become a cancer among geek fandoms, citing stuff like how they took away the 30 plus years or whatever of Star Wars Expanded Universe and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and how the DC films like Batman vs. Superman, Man of Steel, and so on would have thrived if the MCU was never a thing. And I'm just gonna take a quick moment. I'm gonna address the thing about them saying how they got rid of the Star Wars Expanded Universe in a minute, but I'm just gonna say about Batman v Superman, and they also cite Suicide Squad, which I actually haven't seen, but I have heard a lot of things about it. The overwhelming majority of people think that, not even comparing it to the MCU, just think they were terrible films. And I have seen Batman v Superman, and I would agree that, not even just comparing it to like the Avengers or something like that, it just wasn't a very good movie. And I don't think that the MCU really has anything to do with that. It's just about making a good movie, which is something that both of those, especially in the case of Batman vs. Superman, it just didn't happen. And then they go on to talk about how people have spoiled Wonder Woman for them, and all of these different things, and how they will likely be spoiled for Justice League. And they're saying that because of these Disney fanboys spoiling these movies for us, we ought to spoil The Last Jedi for them, which is a really stupid thing to say you're gonna do. I don't think that it's necessarily Disney fanboys who are doing that, because like, even if I saw Wonder Woman or any other movie and met someone who was like really into the DC films or whatever, I wouldn't be like, huh, I like the MCU, I'm gonna spoil this movie for him. No, that's just a bad thing to do, and people who I think are decent human beings would not go out of their way to make sure that they spoil something for you. Moving on with this, they just talk about how nobody reported anything about Disney fanboys spoiling the DC movies and whatnot. And really, I think that's just because it's likely a very small portion of people that just are not decent human beings. And by saying that you are going to spoil the Star Wars movies for Star Wars fans, or Disney fanboys as you call them, you are sort of proving that you are not a decent human being, in my opinion. Of course, other people are going to disagree. Other people will agree with people like this, and fine. If you agree with them, then fine. But just don't make yourself look like an idiot or an indecent person by doing stuff like these guys want to do. And just a couple of things generally about this Facebook page and people like it, called the Disney fanboys toxic, when really these kinds of people are splitting the Star Wars community. They are being like, you like the new canon? Well, you're obviously not a real Star Wars fan. I refuse to associate with you. And then they're also, they're splitting the Star Wars community, which is not an okay thing to do. If you like Star Wars, you like Star Wars. It doesn't matter if you, for example, I don't enjoy, some of the EU material. I don't like Boba Fett surviving. But if you like Boba Fett surviving, fine. I don't care. You enjoy what you enjoy, I'll enjoy what I enjoy, and we'll both get along fine. And then they also claim that a lot of fans of the new canon are hating on the expanded universe, which I think is completely false. Because a lot of Star Wars fans who enjoy the new films, myself included, also really love the expanded universe. I mean, like I said, the name of my YouTube channel is taken from the expanded universe entirely. And there's a lot of stories from the expanded universe, like the Old Republic and the Force Unleashed, and some of the post-Return of the Jedi books that I really, really enjoy and think are really good. These people are just claiming that everybody who enjoys the new canon hates the old canon, and I just don't understand that, because it's clearly false. And they want to see, and the fans of the new canon who enjoy the old canon want to see things brought back. That's why Disney brought Thrawn back in Rebels. That's why they brought back the Hammerhead Cruiser in Rogue One, or I think it was in Rebels first. And that, for me, that was a big moment, because I was like, something from the Old Republic is in the new canon, yay! I don't understand that point, that people who enjoy the new canon hate the expanded universe, because it's just simply not true. So now that we're sort of close to the conclusion of this video, I'm just gonna sort of make things a little more positive and try not to hate on these guys as much, and just tell you what I feel could remedy this. Enjoy what you want to enjoy. If you enjoy the expanded universe, if you don't enjoy The Force Awakens and the new trilogy and think that the expanded universe books are better, fine. Enjoy those. It's not like they've been permanently deleted from history. You can still go and enjoy them, you can read them, you can play the games, you can do whatever and still enjoy them. It's not like like I said, it's not like they've been deleted from history. And then just don't try to shove your opinion down people's throats. Maybe it's potentially seeming like I'm trying to do this right now, but if it seems that way, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to sort of express my opinion on this whole sort of movement, I guess you could call it, and why I think it's kind of stupid, to be quite honest. But don't just be like, if you don't enjoy the expanded universe, or if you enjoy the new canon, then you're obviously not a true Star Wars fan, whatever that means. If you enjoy Star Wars, you enjoy Star Wars. It doesn't matter what part of it you enjoy, at least I don't think. That's like people who enjoy the prequels. I don't love the prequels, but I do find good things in them, and I think they are a central part to Star Wars history. Liking the prequels doesn't instantly make me not a Star Wars fan, because I like Star Wars. I mean, it doesn't matter what part of it I enjoy, it just matters that I like it, and that makes me a fan of Star Wars. It's the same way with some superheroes and stuff. For example, Batman. I enjoy the Arkham games. I think Batman's a cool character. I don't read his comic books. I'm not a big comic book guy, but that doesn't make me any less of a Batman fan. And another thing that I want to talk about that I feel like could potentially sort of remedy this, that I think more people should do, I'm not sure how many people actually do it, but something that I do that kind of helps me is sort of making my own Star Wars canon. I basically take the bits and pieces of Star Wars that I like. For example, I like the original trilogy, I like the prequel, not necessarily the prequels as movies, but the history that they tell. And that's part of my official Star Wars canon. However, stuff like the Old Republic is no longer canon, but I consider it, for myself, to be canon. And even though it's not official, and I can still enjoy the Old Republic, and to me that's my own personal Star Wars canon. That's the great thing about fictional stuff, is that none of it's real, none of it is set in stone as fact. And it's the same thing with, like, Rebels and The Force Unleashed, where I believe I haven't seen much of Rebels, but from what I understand, it's sort of the formation of the Rebel Alliance and stuff like that, which, don't quote me on that, I have no idea if that's completely 100% true or not, but that's just from my understanding. And I haven't seen Rebels, and I'm not sure if I will or not. Maybe I will sometime, but as of right now I haven't. So for me, my personal Star Wars canon says the Rebel Alliance was formed by Starkiller in The Force Unleashed. Then if you like the books that take place after Return of the Jedi, that are part of the expanded universe, and you don't enjoy the new canon, then you can just be like, for me, the books are what's canon. The new movies don't really matter to me. It's what I enjoy, and that's what I am going to consider to be my own personal canon. The sort of title they've given all these expanded universe things that were made non-canon is Legends. And that basically means that they didn't necessarily happen in the Star Wars universe, but they could have. So if you want to, you can take elements of the Legends and put them into the canon however you want. I think that's cool. I think that's a really interesting thing to do. And I think that's what more people should do. Because if you don't like something, then just get rid of it. Pretend like it didn't happen in your own Star Wars canon, and just keep what you like. That way everyone's happy, right? So, and even though they aren't necessarily making things focused around the expanded universe anymore, there's still plenty there to choose from. And even if you want to, you can kind of fan fiction things up and create your own sort of Star Wars canon from scratch. I want us all to be friends and enjoy Star Wars together. Because really that's what we all do. We enjoy Star Wars, so why not just enjoy it rather than fighting about stuff that doesn't matter? Because this is a movie franchise. It's not like it's super important. I mean, yes, it's important to people, it's important to me, but really in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really make a difference. It's not a huge, like, thing that really matters. It's just a movie. Down in the comments below, I want you guys to leave your thoughts on this, like I called it earlier, sort of movement that's happening where people aren't enjoying the new material or wanting the EU brought back or whatever. Tell me your thoughts on it down below. Do you enjoy the new stuff? Do you not? And if you don't enjoy it, tell me why. I want to be able to discuss with people and sort of try to see more of their viewpoint. If you have any thoughts on any of this down in the comments, then leave them down below, and I'll see if I can get back to you, and I would like to discuss it with you. So that pretty much wraps this up. And so if you enjoyed the video, like it. If you didn't like it and disagreed with me, then go ahead and dislike it. I don't really care. But I do want to have a discussion with you guys, so leave a comment down below, subscribe to my channel for more Star Wars related things. And that wraps up this video, so I'll see you guys next time, and may the Force be with you, always.